Hi, Stacy. Per my last email, sales has not received any leads from last RSA. I won't have my reps wasting time in Salesforce when it does not work.
Hey everybody, welcome back to QuickFire Marketing. I'm your host E.T. and today we have a very special guest, a good friend, Stacy O'Leary. She's Salesforce guru, ninja, whatever you want to call her. She knows it all. She's 5 times certified in Salesforce, spoken at Dreamforce multiple times, and we're excited to have her on today. So Stacy, tell me some top reasons that we get a passive aggressive email between SFDC admins / sales ops and marketing.
Oh, I love those. They're so much fun because the reaction is so human, right? You get a passive aggressive email and the immediate reaction is defense. But I think probably the main reason for those emails is a failure to communicate, ET. What we have is Salesforce admins who don't know anything about marketing people who don't know how Salesforce works, and they don't talk to each other or tell each other what they're doing. So what happens is marketing does an event, they go, they have a trade show, lots of people visit the booth, they import a list, and then 2 weeks later they say, "Nobody in sales is calling my list. What did you do wrong?" And the Salesforce admin goes, "I didn't even know you went to a trade show. You need to communicate and talk to them, and then you'll be set up for success."
How do you get beyond talking at someone
Mhm.
versus talking with them? Because sometimes it's like, hey, where are my leads? And
Mhm.
it comes off like at you, right? What are
Yeah,
some
I mean,
nuances?
it is I think that's a big Salesforce admin thing is to not be defensive about Salesforce and understanding the amount of pressure that sales and marketing are under, because it seems like they're butting heads with each other and you can often feel as an admin like you're in the middle of it. And it's important to remember when someone sends you that email that says, "Where are my leads? I didn't get leads. You didn't send me anything." They're not talking about you personally. They don't mean literally like I didn't send them something. They're talking about a system that you're overseeing. And so it's really important not to take that personally.
Yeah, that's what I tell my family and friends when I have like random outbursts. I'm like, guys, it's a crime of passion. I swear. I'm not trying to be a bad person.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Apologies, my bad.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other reasons?
I big one is lack of training. There's so much that goes into being Salesforce admin and understanding the system and where things are in Salesforce and what marketing stuff looks like in Salesforce, which is a huge deal because sometimes, you'll have a marketing person log in and they'll look at a campaign record, they can see what they need to see and they will be confused and frustrated that sales doesn't see the same thing or has no idea what to look for. And then they'll assume that Salesforce is not built correctly or something's not set up correctly. And they just have no training to know what to look for in Salesforce and vice versa as well. Salespeople, they don't know anything about Marketo or HubSpot. They might not know anything about your marketing tool or how it works or what they should be looking for. So, cross functional training, I think, is really important just to be able to teach people, like, hey, there's this other thing that's really important. And there's a person in the middle that will help you understand both. But if you have a problem, don't assume that something's broken. You might not just know the right place to look. And it's not a failing on anyone's part. It's just a bit of education that you need.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So, what are some examples, like key examples? Like, if someone's starting in sales ops today, they go into the reports, they got some certifications, and they go in, they look at some marketing stuff, and they're like, "Oh, this looks like junk,"
Oh,
because they
yeah.
don't
Well,
know. Like, what are examples that
that
you've run
sales
into?
new Salesforce admins are the worst about this too, because they will go into Salesforce and just see a field, a pick list field, a text field, anything, and they'll say, "Oh, that's bad data." They'll fix it up, they'll delete it. I think everybody screws this up at least a couple times in the beginning. But that lack of training comes in where you don't know what Marketo is doing in Salesforce, what Marketo sees in Salesforce. Salesforce admins can change a pick list value in Salesforce and it'll have a huge impact in the marketing tool. And you will have no idea that you've caused a problem until weeks later when somebody in marketing sees it and lets you know. So, yeah, that's a big thing.
Let's dig into that. Like you brought up Marketo. Not every Marketo instance is the same. What are some common situations you've seen because you've worked with hundreds of companies? Like you're like, hey, there is a problem here that if you aren't in the know, you're gonna cause an issue down the line or sooner.
Oh, yeah, big. Field differences in both systems is a huge issue. Field requirements in Salesforce. There's a lot of things we do in Salesforce to set up the system to ensure clean data quality. One of them is called state and country pick list. And it's a cool feature where it gives you a drop down where you can pick like United States and then California rather than giving someone a text to type in US, USA, United States, America, who knows what they could type in. Or they type in no country at all and just type in California. You turn on state and country pick list, everything looks great in Salesforce. It's beautiful. You have clean data, states and countries are aligned. And then all of a sudden you start getting Marketo errors and Marketo failures and failure to sync. Nobody came in from the trade show. And that's a big problem. And it's because you turned on state and country pick list without one, fixing Marketo to align with state and country pick lists, and two, telling your Marketo people that they need to scrub their data before they push it into Marketo. I think almost every client that someone tried to push in a list from a trade show and their state and country data was dirty and it failed to sync into Salesforce because Salesforce state and country pick lists are turned on. So that's a very specific example of those kind of failures, but they happen all the time. It's so common that I have like a standard training now for before turning on state and country pick lists. It's not just a Salesforce thing.
I was literally about to ask that. I was like, so you brought up communication, training, like situations I've been in for sales and marketing when they get together, it feels like it drags and it's meeting to have a meeting to have a meeting because sometimes teams just want to talk at each other, not with each
Yeah.
other. And there's no one agreeing to a framework.
Mhm.
You know, what do you do to reduce that cycle of death?
Salesforce admin's a huge mediator role. It's kind of funny. Like we
Yeah.
think it's technical and working in setting up stuff, and it is, but a lot of it is mediating way more than you think.
To shut down everybody. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
who.
yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is just one to remind people that sales and marketing have almost the same job. And it's hard to think like that when you work in sales and marketing. But if you think about the other team at the company, customer support, I started my Salesforce journey in customer support. Our job was working with customers after everyone else had already done their job. And that early in my role, I almost could not tell the difference between sales and marketing. To me, they look the same. The job is to get customers. And so it's a really important thing to do to remind people that they're on the same team. We have the same end goal. And if you're using Salesforce, you have the same tool. And this tool has a set of rules and it has an out of the box structure. This is what your company decided to invest in, and this is what we're going to make work. And within that, there's limits to what you can do. You can't go crazy and do whatever you want. So once you get everyone sort of on the same page, it's much easier. Then you add in a little bit of that training, like, hey, salespeople, here's what this stuff looks like. Here's what marketing stuff looks like when you're in Salesforce. And you tell the marketing people, hey, this is what they're seeing. I know you said you do an event, you said you do lead gen, but this is what they actually get. This is what they see. And giving that gives everyone sort of the same place to start with, and it's easier to get to your end goal together.
Yeah. Hey, Stacy. So this has been super fun and educational. Super great having you on. Be sure to follow her on LinkedIn. We'll link her profile in the description. And remember to follow us as well so you don't miss another episode.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, Stacy, actually, if you can share us one example of one of these emails, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, this is wild. You're gonna love this. Here we go. Hi, Stacy. Per my last email, sales has not received any leads from last RSA. I won't have my reps wasting time in Salesforce when it does not work.
Ooh, with the per my last email.
Mhm. It's spicy.